Hi, my name is Kaidi and I'm the driver for the session. And today I will be explaining the capstone of lesson 21. So over here in the main is just so over here we've got our setup and middleware. So it initializes Express application, so the Express app. So this is where we declare our variables and it uses EJS for the layout in the templates, and then also it loads the middleware for handling the static files, the layouts, the form data, and the JSON processing, and then also it has method override. And that is just to allow the put and delete operations in the form to operate. And then over here we are connecting to our database. So that just connects to MongoDB in our database by our compass, and then it uses Mongoose as a ODM tool, and then it establishes a connection to say it was successfully connected to MongoDB using Mongoose. And moving on, we've got our routing and controllers. So over here we've got get subscribers. So they just views all the subscribers, and then we've got our create. That creates a new subscriber, and then we've got the get put subscriber ID, get input subscriber ID. So that is for editing and updating the subscribers. And then we've also got the delete subscriber, and that is just to delete subscribers from the database. And then moving on, we've got our error handling. So this will just log an error like it was 4 4s and 500s, and then this is where the app will be listed. So now I just want to go to the subscriber models. So over here in the model, we have the cons for require mongoose. So this just allows the mongoose library to interact with the MongoDB. And then we've got our new mongoose schema. And over there, it creates a schema that outlines the structure for the document in the subscribers collection. And then we've got the name in over here, and that just tells us that type string names must be in a string, and then the required through ensures that mandatory gives an error message if missing, and then the trim through removes extra spaces before and after the name. And then we've got the email. So the email is unique, which is true, and that just prevents duplicates of emails in the database. And then we've got lowercase true, and it stores emails in lowercase for consistency. And then we've got the match over here, and that enforces proper email formatting using regex. So it needs it needs a dot to make sure that it is a valid email address. And then we've got subcode, and then zip code just is type number. That zip code must be numeric. And then we've got min and max, so the zip code between 1,000 and to ensure that they are valid. And then also we've got which is true, and basically that automatically stores created it and update 8 times for each subscriber. So now I'm gonna start this. Okay, let me go over my subscriber models. And then over here in the subscriber model, we've got the Mongoose requires, so that just loads the Mongoose library for MongoDB. And then we've got our con subscriber schema equal to new Mongoose schema. So this just creates a schema that dictates the structure of the document stored in the subscriber collection. And then we've got the schema fields in the basic validation. So by name has been a string, and then the required rule just ensures that a name cannot be empty. And then we've got email must also be in a string required through. Ensure that the field cannot be empty as well for email. And then the unique ID just prevents duplicates. And then by the zip code, the type must be numeric, which is number, and required is basically it cannot be empty. So how it all works together is in the subscriber model, in the subscriber JS. The subscriber model specifies fields like name, email, and zip code, and the Mongoose handles the data validation queries and database operations. So the model interacts with the MongoDB database and it stores the data that was retrieved. And then in the subscriber controller JS over here. So over here, the controller contains the functions for fetch, create, update, and delete. And then when users view the subscribers on controller queries the database and passes the data to the viewers, when the user submits the form, the controller validates and stores information in the database. And then we've got the user interface for the EJS files and the views. I'm just going to show it in the index. So over here in the EJS file, this just displays the data of all the subscribers. And in the main.js, it defines root like subscribers, users, and courses. Like over here, let me just look for it. Subscriber, courses, um, and it goes to the controller and it also handles HTTPs. And I'm just gonna start the server and show you. As we can see, we can add up. Let's change this name to Mickey. Say update subscriber. I can also delete Craig. Now when we go over to our database, just refresh. As you can see, the changes have been made. Now I'm going to explain lesson 21. I mean 22, sorry. Okay, so this is database connection. Use Express, and then it also has error controllers, and then I connect Flash. So This just helps to connect to MongoDB, and then this is a route for the Mongo Connect, as I've explained earlier. Then we've got our routing that handles the subscriber and the course related field. This is for all the users. This shows all the users, and then this just shows us the new users, and then this is the users where we can create users, and then this looks for users with a specific ID. This is where we can edit users. This is where we can update users, and this is where we can delete users. Also, yeah, by the subscribers, this just shows us all the subscribers. This just shows us the new subscribers, and this is where we can create new subscribers. This fetches a subscriber with a specific ID. This allows us to edit a subscriber, and then this allows us to update a specific subscriber, and this allows us to delete a specific subscriber. And then here at the bottom, we just got our error handling, which will launch for 4,500 errors. And this is where the app will be listening. So let me just start the server and show you. Category user duplicate key. Okay, let me use my details. As you can see, it went through. And that is it for lesson 21 and 22. Thank you for watching.